Hey, good evening, everybody. This here is Chef Katrina, and I want to welcome you to tonight's presentation of why network marketers are such huge fans of using WordPress to build their sites. Why is it the #1 recommended for any training, anything you go through? If you've been online for any length of time, you'll hear network marketers, especially those that are doing really well in this industry, always say if you're going to create a blog, use WordPress to create it in because it's really simple and easy to do. So tonight I really wanted to dig into this tonight and show you guys what WordPress looks like. And it took me a while. I had to go back. I actually had to go back and go, what was my first experience with a WordPress blog? And I remember the first time I was told about creating my own blog. I went on looking for WordPress, and like many of you, you stumble upon probably WordPress.com, which is a free platform to use, which is fantastic, but it doesn't like network marketers. There's actually clauses and stipulations in their directions that say that if you're a network marketer, please do not use our platform because we will kick you off. They believe this to be a pyramid scheme, all the untruths about high incomes that can be made, so forth. So WordPress.com really did not like us much as network marketers in general. So how is it that everyone's telling you to use WordPress if WordPress doesn't like you? It kind of seemed a little backwards. And then I realized that it wasn't the idea of having a WordPress.com site wasn't actually what most of the gurus are talking about when they talk about using WordPress to build your blog. It turns out they were talking more about WordPress.org, which we're going to dive into in a little bit here. And it was all about how to use this system, what is it using for, how do you install things on there. I remember the first time I got on and I had to create my first self-hosted blog, is what we're going to call this. We're going to call this a self-hosted blog. I was lost. I was trying to figure out what a header was, what a footer was, where things went. There just seemed to be no real diagram, right, for how you set up a blog. Because the problem with this and all the reality is that each theme that you have with WordPress has different little pieces to it. So you don't know quite what you're getting when you get into your blog. Now, there is some criteria. There are some basic criteria that we'll talk upon that I think are recommended for anybody as a network marketer or anybody that has a blog. These are some criteria that you should be following. So really this is all about the WordPress format, what's similar from theme to theme to theme, and what differs in terms of what should you do. Should you buy a theme? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to go with a free theme? What are plugins? How does all this work? And I understand that can be like the biggest question is really how does all this work together? So I'm going to leave the Q&A open for you. So you can dive into the Q&A at any time. Leave a question up there. I'm going to come back and check because I won't see it on my screen once I start doing some screen sharing with you guys. But what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll double check that, and we'll get some questions answered throughout this hour-long presentation about WordPress. So the more you guys ask, the more entertaining this is actually going to be. So I'm looking forward to kind of delving into this and answering any questions you have along the way. But we're just going to get into the basics right now. What is WordPress? What are you looking for? How do you get started? And we'll go from there. So hang out and join, have some fun. Grab a piece of paper. Take some notes. There's going to be a lot of training in here for you guys to take a look at. I will leave this open for you so that you have an opportunity to come back at any time and take a look at this information. And really just let's make this about you and how this can help you build your business. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and talk about, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. So this is where we're at right now. But I wanted to kind of walk with you guys through this real quick. So typically, when you guys go online, you see this, which is WordPress.com. If you were to Google it, this is typically what you see. This is a free website. All you would actually do is come on here, enter in your website name, so whatever you want it to be, and then it would be whatever your name is, .wordpress.com. Now, the reason, again, like we said, we don't typically want to use this as a network marketer is because they don't really like us, and you're going to have some restrictions that you really don't want in place for you when you do this. This is great for people that are just blogging about news, toys, presents, crafts, anything else. But if you're looking to sell and do this as a business, especially as a network marketer, WordPress.com is not the site you want to be on. And even for a blogger that's out there, guys, if you read Blogger, also it's going to say in the stipulations for this one that if you're a network marketer or anything of that nature, they would prefer that you not use this. I've been on here a couple times. I think I have a couple things where I follow my brother or something weird on here. But this is, again, if you guys go through the terminology, what's allowed, you know, you definitely want to kind of go through and read what's been in here. But Blogger's another one that, as a network marketer, these are free platforms, guys. So if you mess up anything, if you are in the wrong about anything, these are places where you don't want to be because they can kick you off. Prime examples that when I first started blogging about my network marketing opportunity, they actually, I don't know, maybe somebody hit the spam button on it and just didn't like it. Someone had an opinion about something. And in that, I got a notice from WordPress saying that I had to remove my content and no longer use the site that I was using because they deemed it a pyramid scheme and I had to get off of there. So I had, I think, 24 hours or 48 hours in which to remove all my content, close down that particular WordPress.com site, and that's how I had to figure out what WordPress was. What was it the gurus were really talking about in terms of building a site? So for many of us, we hear people talk about building a blog, and you're like, okay, well, how do you do this? What does it look like? So I'm just going to step on the outside of my blog for you guys, and we see something like this. We're like, okay, this is a blog, right? So all a blog is that there is continual content being posted. You'll see multiple posts that are constantly going through, being updated. This is kind of like having what we call a blog roll. And the reason for this is that Google does content that's updated all the time. So you can have stagnant pages, right, which is like my about page or trusted resource page. These are pages that don't change in content. But a blog is a post that allows you to constantly update, have information, and move things forward. So the question I get from a lot of network marketers is, A, how do I do this because I don't have a lot of time? And B, this technology is way over my head. Well, the reality is that it's not over your head. I was a chef for many years in the kitchen. And trust me when I say, you know, I knew how to turn on a computer, and that was really all I knew how to do. So there was definitely a learning curve in the process. So when you talk to a network marketer, you talk to anyone building online, honestly, the first thing they're going to tell you to do is they're going to tell you to go ahead and choose a domain name, right? And if you're a network marketer, I'm going to stop here and give you a little bit of advice. Nobody cares about your MLM company. I know it's a shock. I probably hurt your feelings. You're probably jumping away from here right now going, I don't want to listen to this person because that's so untrue. Everybody wants to hear my company. Reality is they don't, okay? Even I had to come to this realization myself. Honestly, what people want is they want help, they want support, they want to solve a problem, or they want to find a solution, right? People come to the internet looking for answers. They don't come on here looking to join a business or, you know, any of that nature. They may. There's probably a few out there that come specifically looking for a company. They've done their research. They're looking for a leader. That's great. But everybody that's out there that's trying to push or promote their product or company or their compensation plan, you get a lot of people that just kind of repel you away. And the reason for that is because nobody really wants to join you in a company because they feel like they have to sell somebody to join in. What you're trying to do online, honestly, is you're trying to position yourself as the authority figure, as the leader, as the guru in your industry that they should go to and ask for information and join because they have skills, talents, or something that would benefit you as the person joining their team. So ideally, when you get online as a network marketer, it is ideal to to create your brand, brand you, you Inc., however you want to phrase this. And again, another reason for this is that what happens if your company should go out of business tomorrow, or you decide that you no longer want to be with that company anymore, and things change in your life, and now you've got to start all over again with new social media pages. You have to start over again with a new blog because you're no longer associated with the brand, and you've just lost thousands of followers, tons of traffic, all because you didn't take it upon yourself to brand yourself first. Your company is not who you are. You are who you are. Your company just happens to benefit from your branding that you're doing online, right? People join leaders, they don't join companies. So when you get online and you grab your domain name, I either recommend making it something that's generic or something about maybe your name, but please, whatever you do, don't brand your company's name into your web address. That is the worst thing you can do, and I've done it twice now. Previously, before I was kind of had this aha moment. So I'm not saying this isn't done. I'm just saying that this is not something you want to do. Okay. So I'm a huge fan of Just Host. This is probably one of my favorite hosting sites and domain purchases. Now, this isn't the most inexpensive. This is not the cheapest one out there, but I also believe you get what you pay for. And I like working with Just Host. Anytime I've had a problem, their technical support has been there 24/7. When I got hacked, they were there for me. They're really good. I like the fact that they do $50 in Facebook ads, Google credit, Bing credit. So when you're ready to start marketing your blog or your business or your opportunity, or even yourself, you have an opportunity to do that with some free credits in here. And they got a money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you're done, you're over with, whatever. But honestly, I like the idea of having your own hosting domain, because creating your own email account with your name at and your personal web address has a lot of value behind it. So that's one of the things. Getting a domain, getting it hosted is probably one of the best things you can do. And then what usually stumps people is, what's the next part? What do I have to do next? So here's what you're really going to do. When you get into Just Host, this was the back panel that you have, right? This is what it looks like in the back, and you're sitting there going, I don't know how to use any of this. Well, I walk you through the hand-to-hand training of putting this together through my blogging course, bloggingingredients.com. So it's bloggingingredients.com if you guys want to learn more about how to get all this set up, and I walk you through the process. But all you're going to do is you're going to come back here and you're going to click on the WordPress opt-in, or the WordPress icon that's back here in your C panel. And this is going to ask you to install WordPress. Where do you want it? So all you're going to do is just hit install. You're going to choose your domain name. So my domain name would be this one here. And then all I would do is just hit install. But it's already on my account, so we're not going to see it at this time. But it would just hit install, and then WordPress would be automatically installed into my domain and my hosting site, and this is the beginning of a blog. It really is that simple and how easy you can start with. So I'm going to come back to you guys real quick. I'm going to stop sharing this page because I have a feeling some of you guys have some questions along the way. If you don't have any questions, that's great. But if you do have questions, you have a moment to take a deep breath, but to get in here. But what we just talked about is really a crucial piece for, I would say, every network marketer that gets online. Branding yourself is key. Don't worry about branding your company. Your company already has a brand, right? They've already got a website. They've already got replicated websites, everything else like that. That's not your responsibility. The only thing you need to worry about at this time is just branding yourself, helping create yourself as the authority figure. Now, I will say this. Blogging is probably not the fastest way to build your brand, but it is the most authoritative way to build your brand. Because if you can hand someone your business card with your personal website on there, with your personal name, with an email address that goes back to your website, and you can hand that to them, the professionalism attached to that means that you're not just treating this as a MLM business. You're serious about creating your own brand and as somebody to join because you've developed that brand. So go online and really think about what it is you want to be known for, what it is you want to accomplish. Times change, guys. People's change. Food ideas change. I mean, lo and behold, I actually have a friend of mine who was an avid Apple fan. I mean, like, only bought Apple. Only bought Apple. And today has a Samsung. Shock, lo and behold, years later has transitioned to a Samsung, right? I thought my head was going to spin. I was afraid this person was going to actually fall over and collapse because I couldn't believe it, because they were adamant that they would never ever in a million years buy anything but Apple. So you never know what could happen later on down the line, which is why I teach and train you guys not to brand yourself, not to brand your company, but really brand yourself. Create you as the authority figure, and people will actually be attracted to you and want to join you in your opportunity. So something you want to think about for that one. So we're going to head back over again. We're going to continue delving into the world of WordPress, because I want to show you guys what it looks like in the back office of WordPress once you get it installed. So we've got everything installed in here. You've put this in place. You've just installed WordPress. For most of you, I'm going to go ahead and close these windows out. For most of you, you're going to come into a site that looks something similar to this, right? Maybe not have all these components up here yet, but it's going to just say WordPress up in the corner. You're going to have a chance to kind of change things up a bit, but you're going to have a home page. You're going to have posts. You're going to have a media, links, pages, comments. You're going to have appearance, plugin, users, tools, settings. These are all standard in a WordPress blog, okay? But you're going to look at yourself and you're going to be like, okay, I've got this WordPress blog, but there's nothing in there. And the reason there could be nothing in there is because you have to create a theme. So this would be what it looks like from the outside. I'm showing you guys right now, I do use Optimized Press. As a network marketer, I didn't understand everything that came with WordPress when I first got hold of it, like creating a sales page, capture pages, blogging, everything in there. But I also wanted a theme that was functional, so that as I learned these techniques and trainings of creating my own capture pages, of autoresponders, of setting up my own sales funnels, of creating a membership site, I wanted something that was really versatile, that would allow me to add these components in as I grew and learned how to implement them. So that was one reason I purchased Optimized Press. So this is a paid theme. But you don't have to pay for a theme. There is a really cool thing, and this is where a lot of the confusion is WordPress.org. We talked about the .com, which is the free blogging platform. But what WordPress.org is this is your plug-and-play piece, right? This is where all the fun really happens. This is where you can do all this customization and have a lot of fun with your blog through these pieces. So the first thing you're going to want to do with your WordPress site that you have that it doesn't have a lot on it and isn't really pretty at this moment is you want to choose a theme, right? So there's over 2,786 free themes that you can choose from, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, where do I start? Like, what's the best theme at this point? So here's one thing I want you guys to be really aware of when you choose a theme. This is something called responsive, okay? And why I'm looking for responsive over anything else at just this moment is what responsive is that when you choose a responsive theme, now there is actually a theme called responsive. What this does is that if it's on your computer, it's at its normal size. If it's on a smartphone, it actually shrinks down and makes it still look good on a smartphone. So you're not trying to scroll across trying to find this whole page. It will also size it correctly for tablets, for larger televisions. Responsive means that it adjusts to whatever the size dimension it is for the platform that you're on or for whatever technology that you're using. Now, a couple things when you get in here, you can see description. You can also preview it. So you do have the option of looking at it going, okay, this is what it would kind of look like on my site. A couple of different things on here. So we've got maybe a call to action up here. We've got a couple of different comments I can probably put in through there. I'm not 100% sold on this one, and the reason why is because I really like having a sidebar, and I'm not seeing a sidebar on here. So this one for me isn't a sell. I'd be kind of going, not 100% behind on this one. I think I need to look for something else. So I'm going to go up here and just close this out, right? So this one for me, not so much. So I'm going to just go back and be like, okay, so maybe I want a blogger responsive. I want a blogger responsive theme, right? I want to see what they have for that one. So if we do a blogger responsive theme, you guys will see that they've got a whole bunch of different ones that are out there, and I kind of just scroll through until something catches my eye. And based on that, I'll take a look at it and see what I want. For my travel agents, I actually do recommend this one's called Travel Blogger. It's got a really nice flow to it. It's got some pictures, a nice header up here. You've got your capture pages. You got your blogs in here. This one is a really nice theme for those that are in the travel industry. This is pretty relatively good one. I've used everything from, I think it was Graphite is one I've used before. Graphene, I think is what it was. This is one of the first themes I ever used on my blog. Pretty straightforward on this one. It had everything I wanted. It had a really nice header on it. This was the menu bar. I had the blog post that would go through here. I like the fact that there was a sidebar. That's what this is called right here, in case you guys don't know. This is what we call a sidebar over here. So this is great for email opt-ins. This is great for putting widgets or anything that people want to buy or purchase, or you want to promote on the side, or have them sign up to your Facebook, whatever it is. But this one was real easy for me. I also like the fact that it had a slider on here. You do or don't have to use the slider, but it was kind of cool to have at the time. I don't have a slider on any of mine right now, but I do have a couple of my blogging students that have it. So that was one thing you can do. But there are some really, really nice themes in here. And really, honestly, if you were to look for a theme, what I would always recommend for any type of theme, make sure there's a header. So you have a place to put your header on here. You guys, you can customize headers. You can create them yourself. Each theme's going to have like a different size of what you can put up here. I know Fiverr, which is F-I-V as in Victor, E-R-R.com, does some really great work for customizing and doing your headers up here. It's probably anywhere from $5 to $20 to get it done. Really inexpensive for a header that you can put on here, and you can change it at any time. Nothing is set in stone, I promise you that. But I like that. I like to make sure I have a menu bar. So having the menu bars is important for me. And then again, having this sidebar here so I can create an opt-in form was important. And I can do like testimonials, YouTube videos. I can put in widgets, products that I'm doing. I've got my join my Facebook community. And I show you how to set up all these. We call these widgets is what these are. And I show you how to set up these widgets inside of blogging ingredients, because I understand sometimes you just need a little extra hand and where all these goes. And also how to create your menu and how to get the drop down effect on everything. So, I mean, these are all things that you're going to learn. And you can either learn them the fast way or the slow way. I actually kind of took the slow way in the beginning and then had to speed it up a bit because I couldn't stay like that forever. So WordPress allows you to have different themes. And like I said, what I always recommend is choosing a theme that has a nice header, has the ability to put a sidebar that looks right for you. And the way this one looks for me is different from somebody else that has the exact same thing, because the header is going to change, the color is going to change, what you put on here is going to change a little bit. So this theme right here, I'll actually tell you guys right now, I have a friend of mine, Ray Higdon. He actually has the exact same theme as me. So he does use Optimized Press also, I believe. This is his homepage that he has. And then you go to his blog. And very similar. So this is Ray's. This is the exact same thing. I promise you guys. This theme here and this theme here are exactly the same. There's just two different looks to it because you can customize it really to be anything you want. So what I've done for mine is a little bit different than what Ray has done for his. But that's one of the neat things about having a WordPress site is that you really can customize it for what works best for you. Okay, so that is where we're at with that one. So you have the ability to choose themes, choose paid themes, whatever you want. That is where you can be. The next piece we're actually going to delve into real quick is something called plugins. And these are really crucial for any WordPress blog. And I'm going to kind of go over a couple that I believe are really important to have when you have a WordPress, for not only for protection, but for socialization. So these are some things that I absolutely, without a doubt, recommend. But I'm going to stop right here for just a moment, give you guys another quick breath because we did digest a lot of information. And I want to see if you guys have any questions at this time. So I'm going to head back over to you guys. Good question. Okay. So Sandra, in this question here, so you're asking about Elite Marketing Pro. Elite Marketing Pro is a blogging platform. It's just a blog that's customized for you. You don't have the ability to add any more themes. The reason being is because we have so many affiliates that are blogging on that platform that if they were to add their own theme and their own plugins, they'd probably crash the system. So if you're on a site or anywhere else that's using, they all use WordPress. I mean, WordPress is pretty common for any affiliate company to use. Elite Marketing Pro uses it. I believe there's another one out there off the top of my head. I can't think of it. But there's a lot of companies that use WordPress, because it's real easy to use. And it's easy to kind of set up a generic platform for everyone to play on. Now, you do have the ability to customize some things with the EMP platform, but having your own personal platform, your own personal blog is going to change a lot of what you can do that you necessarily can't do on EMP because of the fact that so many people use it. It's got to stay very general. So you are using a theme that works best for the EMP platform. That allows for good conversion factors, that allows for ease of use, that allows you to create sales pages, capture forms. So this is a system that's really easy for EMP, and they're all based off of WordPress. So what I'm sharing with you, actually, you're going to learn a little bit more about how to use the widgets, how to use the platforms, how to create your blog posts. That's what's very similar about WordPress. What I'm kind of showing over is that when you start customizing and you decide to build your own WordPress blog, when you start to build your own website for yourself, that is what you're going to look at, what I'm showing you right here and what I teach through my course, Blogging Ingredients. Because sometimes you need to step outside and completely brand yourself, get your own traffic, find out who's following you, and really build the brand. But if you're brand new to blogging, Elite Marketing Pro really has probably one of the best blogging platforms I've ever seen, in terms because they're considered an authority site. They've already got lots of traffic there. Their capture pages convert. Their copywriting converts. It's just a really good platform to learn and play on. But the additional themes that I'm showing to you are not available to you as an EMP member. You only have the one, which I actually recommend, which is the EMP 2013. That is going to be the best one for you. But that is a really, really good question. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, so that is kind of where we're at. And what we're going to talk about next are plugins. If your questions are and you're using the EMP platform, if your questions are for plugins for that one, again, what you have in place is fairly strong. You really don't need to add anything else in there for plugins for social media. That's all really built in and integrated with EMP. But again, if you're trying to do this on your own, you're going to need certain plugins. Some are similar to what EMP already has in place, which you'll see. But these are plugins that EMP has either already got built into place. But if you're going to have your own personal blog, these are plugins that you're going to need for security reasons also. So we're going to delve into that real quick. But that was a really good question, and I thank you for asking it, Sandra. So back at this again. I just love doing this. This is just so much fun to share with you guys. Okay, so plugins. There's one that you wanted. I don't know if I ever spelled this right. Kismet. I think it's what it is. Nope, that wasn't it. Oh, what is it? It's a spam blocker is really what it is. It cuts down on the amount of spam and junk that comes to your site. Just let me see if I can find it real quick. It's typically one of the first ones up here. And I think it's funny that it's not here right now. Let me see if I can pull it up online. I know it's in my office. I use it all the time. It's blocked, I think, over 100,000 spam for me. So it's definitely one you want to have. There's nothing better than protecting your site against the spam of the world. That real quick. Where is that one? It's a plugin. So let me see if I can have plugins for you guys. Yeah, so it's a Akismet. So AKI. So yeah, Akismet. Wonder why it didn't show up in here. Akismet. Here we go. So Akismet. This is actually checks your spam. It goes through and makes sure that if it's robots or crazy things, or there's too much stuff going on, or people are just spamming your site for whatever reasons, it checks out all the spam. It puts everything aside. It lets you moderate it for approval. But this is probably one of my favorites. Highly recommended. And you're looking to get comments, which you absolutely want to do. This is one of my favorite plugins to utilize for this. So this is very important to keep spam down and keep that off your blog. Another one that's out there, let's see if it's in here or not. There's a plugin called Brute Protect or Brute Force. What this does is that it prevents your site from getting hacked. So if people are trying to log into your site and they're trying to get into your blog and hack it, you want some security in place for that. I believe I also have on this one I have Brute Protect, which actually is a paid service, so you may not see it in here. But you may also see WordPress Security, which is another one. So I'm basically showing you guys all the cool stuff that I have in here. So WordPress Security is another one that's recommended for you to use. This one is great for showing you how many times your site's been attacked or blocked. It's real simple to use. A little bit of time to set it up, but the reality is that it really does scan your site. It keeps you up to date and notifies you if there's any problems. If you get pinged by, Google Plus or the search engines, or you need something to update, this really does have a fantastic ability to capture a lot of this for you. So security for me is really important on your blog. And then from there, you do have the ability to do social media plugins. So like if you're looking to add social media to your site, because most sites don't come with it, some of them do. But if you want to kind of create your own or have a little fun, I know some of you guys for EMP have seen this one called Dig. This one is like a floating sidebar on the side of your post. So when you set this up, it just allows you to choose what social media sites you want available. So do you want Twitter? Do you want Facebook, Buffer, Google Plus, LinkedIn? You can pretty much customize it however you want. You want the share buttons to be at the top of your post, at the bottom of your post, on the side of your post. This really gives you a lot of flexibility with integrating social media. Do you want them on your pages? Do you want them only on your blog posts? Things like that are going to become important to you later on, especially if you start developing your own capture pages. You want the ability to turn on and off your social media so it doesn't sit there and float alongside your capture pages as you're bringing people into your business. So this is really what we talk about when we talk about a WordPress theme. It's really simple and basic to use, but this is why it has such a huge popularity and a huge following for those that are using it as network marketers. So like we talked about back here, I'm going to quickly go over what is very similar. And I actually believe I have the Elite Marketing Pros site also. So if you'll notice here, up to about here, like it says post, media, pages, comments, appearance, users, toolbars. If you notice in the back of my blog, I have the same thing. I have the dashboard post, media. I have pages, comments, appearance, plugins. This is all very, very similar. There is, every time you go to a WordPress site, you will always have these basic functions that you're working with. So your dashboard is just where you have information back here. If you're doing quick drafts, newsworthy, I use a plugin called Pretty Links, things that are going on my site. Like I said, Kismet has protected me from 118,000 plus spam comments. And then it queues up anything that's pretty much spam, so I go through every now and then and just dump that out. Brute Protect is another one. This one has stopped over 2,999 malicious attempts to try to hack into my blog. Apparently I have a fairly good popular blog if everyone's trying to hack into it, so it's kind of nice to know that I can work around that. So here's some basic information about a blog. If you're looking to create blog posts, right, everything you're going to post or write about goes in here. This is your daily, or when you write daily or you write weekly or you write bi-weekly, whatever you want to do for your blog posts, that is where that goes in here. This is the information that goes into these sections. This is what shows up as the blog roll on the front end of your site. So I'm going to play this two ways. I'm actually going to show you guys what this looks like on the outside and use mine at the same time. So you're going to love this. But this is the blog roll. So this is something that shows up. So if you were to scan through it, you would see multiple posts that go up. This is what you want your blog posts. So these are each individual posts, right? This is an article written for my blog as content that I just keep updating over and over again. So that is a blog post. So you have the ability to create new blog posts, add new, see all the ones you currently have there. Whatever it is you're looking for, that is where that is going to be found, okay? The second thing you're going to find that you're going to have in place is you're going to have something called media. Media is where you're going to store pictures, okay? This is literally, this is really basic. These are pictures that you're going to upload into your site. It doesn't take much to do that. All you would do is just add new, and then you can select from your files on your computer from where you want to pull them, and then just upload it onto your site. Now, it does recommend that they stay below 100 millibytes, but if you're doing small posts, an average picture for me is anywhere from 400 to 400 pixels, so that when I upload it, I can size it correctly and fit it to where I want it on my blog. But that is what you're going to have for media. So media just allows you to upload pictures. If you're looking to upload videos and everything else, there's a much better and faster way to do that. The next thing you're looking at is pages. What pages are is they're stagnant. They don't move. So a good place for pages are like about me, right? So if I'm doing an about me page, this is content that's up here. It's just a one-page overall preview. There's nothing crazy about it. So that is just a page. There's no rolling content on here. There's nothing that goes on. This is just a page. Another one that's good for this is contact information. So if you want to contact me, this is how you would get a hold of me. These are great for that one. If you're a network marketer, I love the one that's like join me. And it gives a little bit of information about what it is to join you in your company. Those are really powerful. My pages are, join Katrina. So if you want to join me in my particular company, I've set it up so that they have to get your email address, find out more about who I am, and looking to see what you're looking for. But as you can see, this one doesn't have any menu bar, doesn't have a way to get back to my site. There's no way. So once you're in here, this is a page, you're going forward. That's pretty much what I want on this particular page. This is what we call a landing page. But like we have on here, I have trusted resources. So resources that I recommend, that's in here. This one I actually set up so it does fall into my blog theme so that you can, scroll through here. But these are, courses, products, services that I do recommend for network marketers and bloggers. So these are just stagnant. They have some information on it. They're not going anywhere. These are just indexed pages on your blog. So pages are looking at them. You're thinking like a landing page. You're looking at an About Me page. You're looking at a contact page. You're looking at maybe a membership site, or you're doing training pages. So pages are more like one-shot piece of content, where a post, when you create a post, that shows up in your continual feed. So if I hit blog here, this is continual feed. So every time I create a post, the post is going to show up in my blog. I'm hoping that makes sense to you guys. So if you create it in a post shows up in your blog, but you can create just pages if you want people to, join you in your opportunity, join you for a product or service, whatever it is you want to do. This is a page. It's for my coaching. So there are certain pages that I want that are unrelated to my blog, just so that people have something else to look at. Okay. From there, we have the comment section, which you always want to make sure you're going through your comments and you're answering back to those that comment in your section, on your blog posts. It's really important to engage with your audience. But this is you want comments, you want the engagement. Google actually likes you better if you do have content engagement on your site. So comments are really, really important. So make sure you're moderating them, you're going through them, you're checking which ones you want. Okay. So that's pretty straightforward. The next step we're going to go over is appearance. Appearance has the ability for themes, customize, widgets, which we talk more about inside of my blogging course for blogging ingredients on that one. We talked a little bit about plugins. So how to install plugins, how to get them on here, which ones I recommend. These are the ones I recommend. These are the only ones, even with the paid theme, there's some pieces that I still want to use and have. So I use a couple extra little tiny plugins to put on here to do some extra things that I can't normally do. Like if I want to do a redirect, if I want to, have a little bit of fun, there's different ways in which to do that. Making sure that your user profile is up to date, let people know who you are. The tools is going to differ by each site. Settings for me is really important. As a blogger, you should always have your general settings, what your site title, what your tagline is going to be, your URL. You also want to make sure that you have some information about what kind of writing style you're going to have. How easy do you want it to be read? I can change so that, blog posts show at the most maybe 5, maybe 10. This is all up for you. Do you want summary? Do you want a static page? Do you want a static front page? These are things that you can change in your site that just allow them so that if they come to your site, they can land on a static page. Maybe it's like Ray Higdon and it's got that general picture on there. You've got your discussions on here. Just go through and set that up. This is all pretty straightforward once you get in there. Permalinks, Akismet, these are some of the other plugins that I have that are on here. Permalinks is really important. This is probably one of my biggest pet peeves for anybody. Make sure your permalink has your post name. The reason for this is that your post name does carry SEO weight. And if you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. You want that SEO. You want that extra little bit of Google love so that you're found in the search engines correctly, because search engines do use your URL as part of the way they find out if content is relevant to their searchers. So if they're looking for something, this little end piece here is really important. You don't want this question mark P. You don't want the name and date. You really just want to keep it simple and put your post name on there. It's really, really, really crucial that you do that. So that is really a very, very minor overview of some of this information. Like I said, this could be completely over your head if this is your first time looking at this. But as you get to know blogging, these are questions you're going to have along the way. I remember I've been a student of blogging for 6 years, and there's still things I'm learning today. And that's the beauty of WordPress, and that's the beauty of being a blogger, is that there's constant information that you're going to be exposed to over the course of your blogging career. When I first started blogging, a lot of this didn't make sense to me. A lot of this phrases, these words, this terminology all went right over my head, because it was like being dropped into a foreign country and being asked to speak the language, and I had to quickly figure it out. And there was no one really there to hold my hand to show me, hey, this is where you need to go. Hey, this is how you get this done. Hey, this is where you can go to get that plugin or change your theme, or get somebody to actually give me some feedback on if I was doing it the right way, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things as a network marketer when we get into the world of blogging. Everyone seems to be out for themselves. So you can buy a blogging course and you're like, okay, I'm in this blogging course. Yeah, I've got this mastermind group. It's fantastic. But then what do I do, right? Where do we go from here? And that is where it becomes important for you to take a look at and get that help that you need for blogging. One of the reasons I even created my blogging course, and if you guys are interested, you're more than welcome to go check this out. This is not a sell for this or anything like that. But I created Blogging Ingredients because I wanted to give you guys the ability to get that coaching on the side. We set up like later tonight, and in just a little bit, I'll do my live Q&A with my blogging students so that they have a place to come once a week and ask me questions, because I felt it was really important that you had somebody to go up to and say, hey, I don't understand. And we can do like the live show and tell what I see here is what I've been doing here, but get maybe into more depth for your blog, for what you're trying to accomplish, and maybe get a little bit more detail. Guys, if you're just learning blogging for the first time, it'll probably take you at least 6 months to a year to completely comprehend. Doesn't mean you can't get started in 30 days or less. Doesn't mean you couldn't have a blog up in the next 5 minutes. By all means, you could be blogging right now during this entire training that we had today. You could have had your blog set up and already created your first blog post. That's absolutely a reality. The problem is that you're going to have questions along the way that you're not going to be able to get answered by just being involved in a course. And I got that. But I understood too that, we all learn at different places. So the ability to have a WordPress blog just makes it easier for you to get access to it, right? You're going to like WordPress once you get into it, because once you get your hands on WordPress, once you start playing back here, once you understand what a blog post is, you're going to ask about appearance and plugins, and you're going to have a guide along the way that can show you how to do this. But the reason that we recommend WordPress as network marketers for building your brand is that this is the one thing that they can never take away from you. Owning your own blog is probably the #1 most lucrative thing you can do. This is your real estate. This is your #1 asset. Mari Smith, which is a well-respected social media lady that's out there. She's been in there since, I think, as long as I've been on social media. And I love it because I found a quote from Mari that said, you know what, your blog is your real estate. It's your asset. When you use social media, all you're doing is renting space. So you're renting space on social media, but you own your own blog. So what happens if you rent, right? They can evict you. So think of it as like you can get evicted from social media. It doesn't really guarantee anything to you. But by having your own blog, if people go on the internet and they search, well, who is Chef Katrina, right? Because they want to know who I am. This could be what they find, right? And if I take away, if you guys didn't know, there is a currently showing, and then if you do hide private results, this is more worldwide. But if you go in here, they're going to be like, oh, who is Chef Katrina? These are the things that are going to pop up. My blog is #1, right? And then you're going to see some stuff from Facebook, maybe a little bit of blogging information, YouTube information, but you're going to see that I pretty much own and dominate my personal brand. So that if people are going out there looking for you, right? The fact that I have a blog that has my name on it, that's Marketing Ingredients, and when they click on it, they're automatically taken to my site. Talk about branding, talk about ownership, talk about keeping you in front of your audience so that they know that when they search for you, they find you. And that's really, really important with a lot of network marketers, because they don't think that this is a key part of their marketing brand. But trust me when I tell you, as a network marketer, you want to build your own brand. You want to stand out from all your competition, and you want to be the person that people go to learn from. And I will also say this, there's plenty of room that if every person in my MLM went out and did the exact same thing that I'm doing, there would be zero competition. It wouldn't matter if they all went worldwide. This could be hundreds of thousands of distributors in my company, and they all went out and they built their own brand, they built their own web pages. There is still no competition for me at all. And the reason being is that each of us are different. We're each going to find our own following. We're each going to have our own path. We're each going to look at our MLM a little bit differently, right? I may take one product that my MLM has and just focus solely on that one as opposed to anything else out there. It doesn't matter that there's maybe 12 or 30 other products in my company. I focus on one, I get that niche, I find my brand, I completely customize that so that when people are looking for that type of product, that type of service, I'm the guru to go to because of how I set myself up underneath that niche. So I don't look at anyone doing what I do in my MLM as competition. I actually applaud them for going out there and learning this because it just strengthens the company in general and it helps us all build bigger paychecks, right? So sharing this information is actually a benefit for you. Going out there and telling other people that you're building your own brand, you're building your own blog, you're using WordPress, this can become something that's really, really important for you down the line. So the whole process of having your blog, of communicating, of talking, of chatting is really more about just getting this information out there. Every single page is customizable. For those that are in Elite Marketing Pro, you can customize all this. All this training is actually available in your back office for learning how to customize it. I know a lot of you guys ask, well, how do I customize everything? I'm going to show you guys right now for changing out headers on your blog site. There's this little stupid widget over here. This is how easy this is. I'm just going to show you guys real quick. But you can literally go to top header section, right? And you would just go up over here, and I think you would just drop it. So there is, so like this is header. So top header section. So I want to customize that to whatever I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and change that out to, my own personal header that I want on here. I probably would put this above it. I'm just doing this for temporary purposes, but you can do subscribe to my newsletter. AR form is an autoresponder, so you can collect email addresses on that one. And then your own image, it's actually telling you that your image needs to be 550 pixels by 142 pixels. Upload that in and you're done. And really what that looks like for those that are on here is that that's this header right here at the very top. So you can actually customize all of this right here. Actually, that went through. But this is the first one. This is the second one. But you can customize all this. Picture, heading, whatever you want to do. That is all customizable. And you can do this in your own personal blog. You can do this with the EMP blog. Everything that you want to do is available back here for you to play with and really work around and have a lot of fun with. That is the beauty of WordPress. But again, if this seems overwhelming and you guys are just lost and confused, there's going to be some great references on YouTube if you want to spend the time and actually learn to do this yourself. You can go to YouTube. You can learn a lot about how to build your blogs, all that fun stuff. Or you can invest in blogging ingredients. You can hang out with me. You can have access to all my blogging resources, all the how to set up your email autoresponder, how to do all the fun stuff that's back there and do it in a very concise manner. But this is the most important piece to anything you do online is having your own blog. Your blog is absolutely, without a doubt, the foundation for everything you do online. I think, I was told that if you're serious about building online, you set down your foundation, and your foundation begins with your blog. And the easiest one that you can work with is a WordPress blog. And the reason being is that you don't have to learn this HTML coding. You don't have to learn how to be a site builder. You don't have to learn CSS or all this really crazy, I don't even know what it is. I'll tell you right now, my brother is a guru. I mean, mad genius at creating web pages and all this coding and stuff like that. I know nothing about coding. Nothing. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to learn it. It's like way over my head. But I love the fact that I can plug into a WordPress blog and move my business forward. That's really why we talk about WordPress and using it as a network marketer. So Do you guys have any other questions about WordPress, about how to use it, anything that you're specifically looking at overall that I can help with? I want to wrap this up in the next couple minutes or so, but I'm, want to get some questions from you guys if you have any along the way. If you don't, that's awesome too. That means I just did a really good job and I knew what I was supposed to do. So it's fantastic. And like I said, this is going to be available for you guys to take a look at later, review, have some interest, and then hopefully my goal is once a week kind of break down different pieces of the WordPress puzzle and really teach network marketers how to customize, make this their own, where you find content, all that other fun stuff that I know you guys are asking. But we're not going to cover it all in one day. This is going to be a process over time that we're going to spend in this. And that's really what this is all about. So I think you guys are good. I don't see anybody else have any other questions. I thank you guys all for being here with me tonight and just hanging out and having a little bit of fun and learning about WordPress and seeing what this is about and why all the network marketing gurus, rave about WordPress and why you should use it. And you're sitting here going, I don't understand. I'm hoping I broke through some of the lingo, some of the questions. And I know you probably have a lot more questions, so feel free. At any time, if you can write to me at Katrina@thechefkatrina.com. That's my email account. Feel free to send me questions and ask about what's going on. And, I'm here to help you guys. Honestly, at the end of the day, the more that I can help you succeed, the better off it is for everybody in the network marketing industry. So thanks, guys, again for joining me. Have a great evening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.